So we already covered gutting the doors and the hood, and now we're going to talk about gutting the rear hatch. Now, unlike the hood, which is made out of aluminum, and the doors where we need the side impact protection, so gutting them is our best option. On the rear, I'm going to go ahead and say the best option if you're going for the lightest car you possibly can is still going to be the carbon fiber hatch. Because this hatch is steel and weighs so much, going to the carbon fiber is going to save you a considerable amount, and it's still going to be lighter than my hatch, which as you can see has been pretty gutted. I have removed the rear wiper, that weird little weight that was back there. I gutted as much of the inner skin as I possibly could, including on the little wings over here and up at the top of the hatch. I replaced the factory glass with some plexi, which I've got just some little aluminum supports there just to keep it from wobbling at high speed. I've removed as much material as I feel comfortable doing on the rear hatch, and even then I think I only removed about 20 pounds from it, 30 if you include all of the plastic trim and other things like that. So it still weighs over 50 pounds, and I believe a carbon fiber hatch is about 10 to 15 pounds lighter than that. The only downside to the carbon fiber hatch is, of course, it costs a pretty good amount of money to get a nice one. Eventually, I'll be doing my own fiberglass hatch to drop the weight down even more. And then of course, ditching the factory struts will be nice. This one just weighs so much that having the factory struts is still really nice for loading and unloading the car. But once I go to the fiberglass one and the car is sitting on a trailer, so I'm not loading anything in and out of the car, I'll definitely be ditching those. So there is a great deal of weight to be lost back here. But number one, you don't want to lose too much weight on the back of your car because the Z is already so front heavy. This will be an issue that I address way off in the future. And number two, as you compromise weight here, if you have a wing or a spoiler mounted to the back of it like I do, as you weaken this hatch, it's going to transfer that weight to the chassis less. Instead of pushing down on the car, it's just going to deform your now very flimsy rear hatch. So mine still has a lot of integrity. You can definitely tell it's not as stiff as it was, especially on the little wings here. I have to bolt those down when I go to the track, but it still is enough that the spoiler can work properly. I can still pull on the spoiler and the car moves, not the hatch. So you have to be careful where you remove material, especially if you have some functional aero back there. As far as removing the glass goes, I just got a piece of wire, worked it through there, and then wrapped it around some wooden dowels and just worked it back and forth like a sawing motion so that I could get rid of all of the factory glue. Eventually something bumped it and the window shattered and I had to clean it all up. And even though I don't really think you could sell that window, I did want to weigh it to see how much weight I lost through the window, so I kind of lost that opportunity. I've been really happy with the plastic window back here. I don't have any issues with it wobbling at high speed, and I can still see out of it perfectly well. So I do think that's a worthwhile thing. You don't need to buy an aftermarket one unless you want it to be tinted, because you can't put tint on one of those because of the off-gassing of the plastic. It'll cause bubbles underneath the tint. All of mine are clear, so it's not a big issue. I just went and picked some up at the store. Just make sure that you're getting the correct kind that is not going to shatter. But make sure you're getting Lexan, because Lexan will scratch easier, but if it has an impact on it, it's not going to explode and cause sharp bits of plastic to go flying towards you and kill you. Of course, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next week.